We were told a story, a narrative carefully crafted and sold to the Golden State Warriors fan base. A story of urgency, of redemption, of rebuilding around one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. Stephen Curry, the front office, was locked in, as they claimed, fully prepared to attack the offseason with purpose, ready to give Steph one last real run at a championship. Fans were made to believe that every move would be calculated, aggressive, and focused on surrounding their aging core. Curry, Draymond Green, and possibly even Jimmy Butler, with the right pieces to return to contention. But fast forward to the present moment, and what we're witnessing is something far different. Not only have the Warriors failed to make a major splash, they haven't even completed the most basic of tasks, like getting Jonathan Kuminga's extension across the finish line. That's not the sign of a team that's locked in. That's a front office that looks uncertain, slow, and completely unprepared for the chaos of the modern NBA offseason. And now, as fans cling to hope for a meaningful acquisition, the name surfacing in the rumor mill is none other than Kevin Love. That's right, not 2016 Kevin Love, not even 2020 Kevin Love, but the Kevin Love of 2025 at age 36 being floated as a serious signing for a team that claims to be gunning for a title. It's almost surreal. Nearly a decade ago, the Warriors flirted with the idea of trading Klay Thompson for Kevin Love, a move that in hindsight could have altered NBA history. Thankfully, that deal never materialized. But here we are in the present, and Kevin Love, after being traded to the Utah Jazz and now reportedly entering free agency via buyout, is once again being linked to Golden State. According to several sources, the Cavaliers are the front runners to bring Love back. But right behind them, the Warriors, second on the list of most likely destinations for a 36-year-old stretch big who hasn't played meaningful basketball in years. Let's break this down. Kevin Love, at this stage in his career, is a shell of the all-star he once was. He still has a nice shooting touch. Last season, he averaged about 5 points per game, 4 rebounds, and shot around 36% from beyond the arc, including solid numbers from the corners, but he's not the guy who's going to swing a playoff series. He's not the answer to the Warriors' front court issues. Defensively, he's a liability. Mobility, gone. Rim protection, minimal. He's a smart player, sure, with championship experience, and on a minimum contract as a deep bench piece, there could be value there. But if this is your headline signing, if this is the move the franchise expects the fan base to celebrate, that's not just underwhelming, it's borderline insulting to the legacy of this core and the patience of the fans. Meanwhile, Golden State remains the only team in the league that hasn't made a significant move this offseason. Every other front office is working the phones, finalizing trades, adding depth, adjusting their strategies. But the Warriors, they're stalled. They're watching the market evolve around them. And it's not just the lack of movement, it's the names being floated that show a real lack of urgency or direction. Kevin Love is a nostalgia signing, not a basketball solution. Of course, the Warriors do have needs in the front court. That part isn't up for debate. They need size, rebounding, and ideally someone who can stretch the floor without being a total defensive sieve. But even if that's the goal, there are far better options out there. Chris Boucher is one name that comes to mind immediately. A long, athletic big with a solid jumper and a strong defensive presence. He may not be a star, but he fits the mold of what the modern Warriors need far better than Kevin Love. Last season with the Raptors, despite limited minutes and a reduced role due to the team's clear tanking strategy, Boucher still managed to average 10 points and nearly 5 rebounds per game. He shot over 36% from deep, including 40% from the corners, numbers that are more than respectable for a big man, and defensively, Boucher brings energy, length, and the kind of weak side help the Warriors have sorely lacked since the departure of a fully healthy Andrew Bogut. Boucher's G League roots, where he once earned Defensive Player of the Year honors, speak to his work ethic and development curve. He's not someone who was handed a role, he fought for it. And in a Warrior system that prizes movement, intelligence, and defensive versatility, he could be a natural fit. The fact that he's been loosely linked to Golden State already only adds fuel to that fire. But for whatever reason, that interest hasn't materialized into action. And so the fan base is left to stew in rumors about Kevin Love, Al Horford, and maybe even Tristan Thompson, all players who in their prime could have helped. But in 2025, they're just names. They're not solutions. Speaking of Horford, his situation is also worth monitoring. As of now, he's weighing multiple options, possibly joining the Warriors, possibly heading to Denver, or possibly calling it a career. Retirement is very much on the table for the Celtics legend. And while Horford would bring more to the table than Love, particularly on defense and in terms of veteran leadership, he too would be a short-term patch, not a long-term answer. His body has miles on it. The minutes would need to be carefully managed, and once again, you're not addressing the root issue. This team lacks young, athletic big men who can grow with the remaining years of Steph's window. Summer League, therefore, becomes more important than ever. It's no longer just a showcase for G League hopefuls. It's a critical scouting mission for Golden State. They need to find out if any of these young players can realistically contribute next season. Because cap space is tight, trade assets are limited, and the front office appears hesitant to pull the trigger on any significant deal, including one involving Jonathan Kuminga, which has been lingering for what feels like an eternity now. Every day that passes without action only intensifies the pressure. The clock is ticking on Curry's prime, or what remains of it, and the front office can't afford to waste another year with a mediocre, incomplete roster. But even if you accept the idea that the Warriors are aiming small, that they're looking for bargain deals or low-risk additions, there are still better options than Kevin Love. Trey Lyles, for example, is coming off a solid year with the Sacramento Kings. He averaged about 6.5 points per game, close to 5 rebounds, and shot 34% from beyond the arc. From the corners, 38%, and he's only 29 years old. He's not a game changer, but he's serviceable. He's someone who can eat minutes, knock down shots, and hold his own defensively in certain matchups. He's a far better option than a guy pushing 40 who hasn't been a consistent contributor in years. Even Marvin Bagley, for all his inconsistency, at least brings youth and athleticism to the table. He hasn't lived up to the hype of a number 2 overall pick, but he's a body. A mobile big who can rebound and run. He's not the perfect fit, but in a league starving for size and mobility, he at least fits the archetype of what the Warriors should be targeting. Precious Achiuwa is another name that should be on the radar. He's played meaningful minutes at the center spot. He's active on defense, and he's still young enough to develop into something more. If the Warriors are serious about building a rotation that can survive a deep playoff run, these are the kinds of players that make sense, not nostalgia acts from a bygone era. The problem is that none of this is new. This has been the Warriors' story for the past 2 off seasons now. A lot of noise, a lot of talk about flexibility, about keeping options open, about evaluating the market, but in the end, the moves don't happen, or worse, they do happen, then they're the wrong ones. The Jordan Poole extension, the James Wiseman pick, the repeated inability to develop young talent into meaningful contributors. It's a cycle, one that seems to be continuing into yet another summer, and with each passing day, the pressure mounts. The fan base grows more frustrated, and Steph Curry, he gets older. What's the plan here? Is this a stealth tank job under the guise of competing? Is the front office hoping that internal development magically takes a leap? Or are they genuinely trying but just getting outmaneuvered by more aggressive franchises? Whatever the answer is, the outcome is the same. A team that seems stuck. Stuck in between timelines, stuck in between ideologies, trying to compete while rebuilding, trying to be smart without being bold. And in the NBA, that's a recipe for mediocrity. Kevin Love should not be the name dominating Warriors headlines in July of 2025. Not when this team is staring down the final seasons of an all-time great like Stephen Curry. Not when Draymond Green is clearly slowing down. Not when Klay Thompson has already walked away and the roster is as thin as it's ever been. If this is the swing, if this is the move, it tells us everything we need to know about the state of the franchise. Not desperate, not aggressive, just lost. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. Whispers are swirling around the NBA as rumors intensify about a potential blockbuster signing. Filipino basketball prodigy Kai Sotto is reportedly en route to San Francisco, with sources hinting at an imminent contract with the Golden State Warriors. Though nothing has been officially confirmed by the team, the buzz growing in basketball circles suggests that the Warriors are seriously considering bringing the towering 7'3" center aboard as they look to bolster their front court depth for the upcoming season. Kai Sotto has been on the radar of NBA scouts and executives for quite some time. The young star from the Philippines has drawn attention not only for his remarkable height, but also for his skill set and promising upside. His journey from Southeast Asia to the world's premier basketball league has been closely followed by fans eager to see a player from the region break through at the highest level. This possible move to the Warriors would mark a significant milestone both for Sotto and for basketball's growing global reach. Golden State's roster has been evolving, and the addition of a big man like Sotto could be a strategic play. The Warriors have shown a willingness to invest in young, versatile talent capable of contributing both offensively and defensively. Sotto's size and agility could offer them a new dimension in the paint, especially as the team balances the experience of established stars with fresh energy and potential. While details about the contract, duration, or financial terms remain under wraps, insiders suggest negotiations have been progressing rapidly since Sotto's arrival in San Francisco. Fans and analysts alike are speculating how Sotto would fit into the Warriors system. Would he take on a traditional center role, anchoring the defense and controlling rebounds? Or would the Warriors adapt their style to maximize his mobility and shooting range, blending his skill set with their renowned fast-paced offense? Such questions fuel the excitement and debate surrounding this rumor, as supporters hope for a new chapter that could redefine the team's dynamics. While the Warriors have not publicly addressed the speculation, the arrival of Kai Sotto in San Francisco itself is enough to set social media and sports forums ablaze. This potential signing is viewed not only as a basketball coup, but also as a cultural moment, highlighting the NBA's expanding influence worldwide and the increasing presence of international stars in the league. Whether or not the deal ultimately materializes, the buzz surrounding Kai Sotto's possible debut with the Golden State Warriors underscores the growing intrigue in the upcoming season. The Warriors, known for their eye-catching plays and championship pedigree, might just be preparing to add a unique piece to their puzzle, one that could surprise fans and opponents alike. For now, all eyes remain fixed on San Francisco, waiting to see if the rumor will soon turn into reality. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.